Hold up. Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bet.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Double M Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
We are talking about Emmanuel Navarrete versus Sugar Nunez, and we're going to see it live this Saturday. Let's talk about it.
So, as my man here said, we're actually going to be live at the Navarrete-Nunez fight. Listen, we've actually seen a couple of Navarrete's fights now live. He seems to like coming down here to the States, and every fight that he's been at, we've loved. It's action-packed. A lot of good work input in, not just by him, but the undercard is usually pretty jam-packed with good fights himself. A lot of lesser-known boxers, but they're always damn good fights. I expect nothing less here. Listen, man, we were doing a little bit of research here before I jumped on, man, and the fact that Nunez has a 93% knockout ratio, I don't think is good for Navarrete. The reason I say that is because Navarrete is, as I stated a second ago, an action-packed fighter. He likes to get busy. He likes to get in there and box it out with people, really go to war. I don't think that's a great thing to do against someone with a 93% knockout ratio, man. That is high. That is high. And listen, I'll be honest, looking through the boxing rec, Nunez doesn't have really any noticeable names on there that I could really say, oh, well, that's a signature win there, or that's a signature win there. So maybe that's why it's so high. Navarrete does. Navarrete has a lot more of a deeper talent pool that he's faced himself. He has a much more deeper pool of individuals that I could say that's a reputable name, stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting fight one way or the other, man, because, again, power is power regardless. The only thing that might change is how strong of a chin it's hitting if that power does hit. Navarrete is going to get hit. Absolutely. He's definitely prone to getting hit. He's definitely leaves himself open enough to get hit, but he thus far has had an iron chin, so we'll see if Nunez can definitely test that chin and maybe even crack it, man. It'll be interesting. We'll drop you guys, obviously, some information, some videos after the fact. We'll make sure to include all the stuff that we do while we're there. We'll let you guys kind of see the behind the scenes, so to speak, of us attending the fight and all that good stuff. So yeah, man, it'll be a good time. Stay tuned for that video after this Saturday. What do you think about that, man? What do you think about these two fighters?
I am absolutely phenomenally hyped up for this match, and the fact that we're seeing it live this Saturday. Navarrete is a man that he's been through absolute war after war after war, a volume puncher, a heavy hitter, but I do think he has a lot to worry about with Sugar Nunez. I've done a little bit of studying on Sugar Nunez's and his most recent bouts, and the one thing I've noticed, though, if you want to know anything about Sugar Nunez, he has 29 wins, 27 of those by knockouts, and the one thing that I've noticed that people fall prey to when it comes to Sugar Nunez is that Sugar Nunez, and one thing I appreciate about him, is the fact that he will go to the body, but he will go to the body as a setup when he goes to the head, and usually a right hook to the head is usually the one thing that Sugar Nunez does that brings them down. You want to see what 27 knockouts does? This is what Sugar Nunez does. He will go to a left hook onto the body, which will set up for a right hook going up top, and for whatever reason, people fall prey to it over and over again. Sugar Nunez does like to do mix-ups, and he does mix-ups as a lead to go in for the knockout punch, and if you want to see an absolute war, one of his greatest victories that he's had, go watch his fight against Christopher Pitufo Diaz. Two times during that fight, Christopher Diaz actually falls to the same thing that I described. A left hook to the body and a right hook up top, and time again, Christopher Diaz falls prey to that. Whether or not Emmanuel Navarrete will fall prey to that, I don't exactly know, but I do think that is one of the things that Emmanuel Navarrete is going to have to look out for. Another thing that I also noticed is that Navarrete does throw volume punches, but he actually throws them from longer range, at least from mid to outside range, where Sugar Nunez actually likes to get in close, and he actually likes to get in pretty fierce. So whether or not that's actually going to play a lot into the match, I do think Navarrete has a chance to fight on the outside and lead the dance from there. But I do think Nunez is going to make this absolutely hard and going to try and fight in from close range. They actually had a sit-down interview. I think it was a video on Matchroom Boxing. It was basically, it's a little Q&A between both of them where they're both reading off of cards. And one thing absolutely stood out to me is I think Navarrete had on his cards, how do you see this fight on Saturday? How do you see it going? And what do you think will happen? And I think Nunez says something to the effect of, I don't exactly know how this is going to go down, but I do know one thing for a fact that I think is going to happen on Saturday is you're going to bring a war, I'm going to bring a war, and the fact of the matter is we're both going to do our jobs in the ring, and we're going to let God decide from here on out. So the fact of the matter is, going into this, you think it's a war, I think it's a war, Nunez thinks it's a war, and Navarrete is going to be a war. And I do think that is absolutely going to be accurate. It's something that we're going to see happen Saturday live. I am absolutely so hyped for this fight. Who do I think is going to win? I'm not going to lie. I'm a little split on this. I do think Navarrete might lead the dance a little bit more, and I don't exactly think a knockdown is going to happen from Navarrete, but I do think he might win this probably by majority decision. I do think that Sugar Nunez is probably going to be his absolute toughest fights come this Saturday, but that's how I'm feeling about this. At least we're recording this on Sunday, so I mean, we're gonna see in about a week. That's my feelings on it. But what do you think about all that?
Listen, man, I think Navarrete has more skills. I think he's fought better competition, tougher competition. So I'm actually gonna lean towards Navarrete. Again, the one thing I say, man, that 90% plus knockout ratio, that's tough to get over, man. But again, listen, lesser opponents. Definitely not as good as Navarrete, so that's why I'm picking Navarrete to win. Navarrete has taken some bombs. Navarrete has been cracked quite a few times, and he's managed to power through it and keep going. Tough dude, so I'm going to go Navarrete. Either way, we'll see it. We'll see what happens live this Saturday. It'll be awesome, phenomenal. Again, we'll show you guys all the video afterwards, so we'll be having a good time while we're there. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Definitely going to be a fun fight to watch. Make sure you guys tune in. And with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.